Hello and welcome to Game 4 of the Rockies Baseball Classic between Team USA and Team World. Team USA coming off with a big victory in Game 3 to stay alive. As Team World now still looking for the clinch, they'll send Marquez, the current day Rockies Ace, to the mound to try and finish this thing off against Team USA. Skylar Timmons here on the call with you yet again. Calling the action. Hope you're enjoying our little simulation series here. I know for me, it's been a lot of fun just watching these two teams go at it here in their, respective teams and such. Fun to see all these former Rockies, these old Rockies, current Rockies battle it out. Eric Young will lead things off for Team USA. Eric Young with a bit of a spark there in Game 3 for Team USA. And they put him out there again today. This time he'll be playing out in left field, as Matt Holliday will slide over to right field. Dante Bichette will become the DH. Marquez quickly evens the count, 1-1. Trevor Story getting in there in a bit of an interesting middle infield, as Trevor Story will slide in over at second base, with Trevor Story sticking it short. That pitch is fouled away by Young. 1-2. Marquez, one of the prolific Rockies starters, the modern day best starter for the Rockies. Young stays alive, fouls off another one. Acquired from the Rays for Corey Dickerson. And check swing, but he drops the knuckle curve in there. Strikeout number 1 for him on Marquez to get things started here this afternoon. Bring up Trevor Story. Story's been involved in pretty much every game. But one away here for Team World. As Story awaits the first pitch from his former teammate. Marquez kicks and deals, and in there for a called strike. Marquez owns the Rockies' single-season record for most strikeouts. As Story sends one deep into center field, Taveras giving chase back to the warning track. And he'll make the catch just shy of the warning track. For out number 2, we get a look at Team USA's starting lineup. Eric Young in left, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado, Todd Helton, Dante Bichette, the DH, then Tulowitzki, Matt Holliday, Charlie Blackmon in center, with Chris Iannetta doing the catching. Not much change for Team USA after a dominant win in Game 3, winning 12-5. As Nolan Arenado puts a charge into this one, dead center, and see you later. Nolan Arenado jumps on the first pitch he sees, a staggering 506 feet to dead center field off of Marquez. Oh my goodness, what a blast. That was absolutely crushed. Middle. He squares that up, and he knew it was gone. That's going to land into the fountains. Wow. You don't see that every day, so Team USA gets on the board first here with that loud home run, and Todd Helton swings at the first pitch. He'll bounce one up the middle into center field. That one did not go 504 feet. But Nolan Arenado has been heating up. He had a pair of homers in Game 3. Starts one off here. That's something that this Team USA has needed. They've done a good job. They've usually been able to strike first in the first inning. it's everything that comes after that's been a real struggle for them. But that's a great way to set the tempo and the tone for the rest of the game for the U.S. Pitch from Marquez, misses outside. Bichette now even at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Bichette, called strike at the letters, 1-2. Before I hit that home run, I was talking about German Marquez set the single-season record for strikeouts in a season. I believe it was 2019 he set that record, passing Ubaldo Jimenez. Another foul ball. After being acquired, German Marquez has slowly and quietly become one of the best pitchers in Rockies history. Quickly developed into an ace, grounded to third. Castilla's got it, he'll throw on to first. So a nice recovery there by German Marquez. Nolan Arenado just absolutely destroys a baseball. And he's given his team a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first. John Gray is going to be howling today on the mound. Their big right-hander, former first-round pick for the Rockies, recently a free agent, signing a 4-year deal with the Texas Rangers prior to the MLB lockout. Once again, we'll get to see him here on the mound for Team USA in a Rockies uniform. Willie Taveras will lead things off for Team World. Willie Taveras is a spark plug for this Team World offense. Combining with Kaz Matsui at the top of the lineup, they are a dangerous combination with the speed and ability to make contact. Willie Taveras led the league in stolen bases in 2008. As Gray falls behind 3-0. Another pitch to Taveras and called strike the letters. Taveras thought it might have been a bit high, but he'll come back. The home plate umpire rules it a strike. Might have caught the top of the zone. Good frame there by Chris Iannetta behind the dish. Might have been able to steal a strike here. So 3-1. And he'll drop a slider in there for strike 2. Full count now as John Gray battles back. Payoff pitch to Willie Taveras. Frozen with a slider on the inside corner. And strikeout number 1 for John Gray. Good take there by Willie Taveras, and that slider became John Gray's wipeout pitch. Demonstrates it there to get the called strike 3. So breaking pitches working for both pitchers so far. As Kaz Matsui watches ball 1, the switch hitting Japanese export. And he'll put a charge into this one into right field. That's going to bang up against the wall. Blackman giving hustle. He'll get it. Meanwhile, Matsui rounds second, and he's going to get into third easily with a stand-up triple. Well, Kaz Matsui continues to be a catalyst for this Team World squad. Yet again, finding the gap. One hops the wall. And with that blazing speed, he's able to get into third easily. That'll bring up Andres Galarraga. 1 out. Runner at third. Galarraga watches ball 1. Gray has yet to throw a first pitch strike through these first 3 batters. He's going to have to wrangle in that control if he wants to hold on to this lead or at least give Team USA a chance to stay into this thing. Starting pitching has not been great for Team USA. It's been serviceable. Mike Hampton's start in Game 3, one of the better ones. Had a no-hitter into the 4th inning. 1-2 to Galarraga, bouncer to short. Only play will be to first. Tulowitzki will gather it in, and the throw is low, and Galarraga is able to beat out the throw. It developed just a little bit too slow, that Baltimore chop. Slowed on the grass, and Tulowitzki wasn't coming in on the charge, and I'm not sure. He might have been out there. But Galarraga on that final stretch, we'll get that angle. Well, looks like he might have just beat it out. That's not typical for Tulowitzki, who's so good, can read a ball so well off the bat. Ideally there, he would have come charging in. He would have to scoop that and throw sidearm almost over to first, across his body, if he was going to get Galarraga at first. But instead, with that chop, he came set. And instead gathered it in and just wasn't able to get a quick shuffle throw over to first. Pick off. Galarraga's back easily. Galarraga isn't as prone to steal, but still had 50 bags in a Rockies uniform. Slide step from Gray misses outside. Still hasn't thrown a first pitch strike to any of these batters. Larry Walker at the plate, ahead 2-0. Got away with a fastball there over the plate, and Walker was right on it, but he fouls it away. Two 2-1 to Walker, outside with a changeup. 3-1, Vinny Castilla waits on deck. John Gray turned himself. He never reached the ace potential with the Rockies that they had hoped when they selected him in the first round, as Walker draws a walk here. So 1 out, runners on first and second, and Vinny Castilla up to the plate. We're tied at 1. 1-1 after Kazmatsui with a 1-out triple and scored on the infield single by Galarraga. So Gray in a bit of a bind here, trying to get out without any further damage. Keep this thing tied, head into the second. Well, it's a fastball by Castilla there, 1-1 the count. Gray drafted 3rd overall in the 2013 draft. Bet on himself after being drafted 2 previous times. Popped up in foul territory near the fence, and Arenado should have a play. Makes the catch, reaching over the fence into the camera well, so 2 away is a big out there to get Castilla. Here's how the Mariners or the Team World's lining up. Taveras, Matsui, Galarraga, Walker, Castilla, Carlos Gonzalez now. Justin Morneau back in there as the DH. Nafi Perez back at short, and Yorvi Torrealba back behind the plate. Not too much change for this Team World team as Carlos Gonzalez stands in. Winds and deals and misses low, ball 1. But Gray was drafted originally in 2010 in the 13th round by the Royals out of high school in Chandler, Oklahoma. And then the Yankees drafted him in 2011 from Eastern Oklahoma State College. Still didn't sign, and then the Rockies continued to bet on himself. Ended up in the first round out of the University of Oklahoma. Gets a slider in there, 2-1. Gray has fallen behind every single batter here. He continues to struggle with his command. Drops a changeup in there, pulling the string as Cargo waves through it. Evens the count at 2. That misses high. 3-2. Runners should be off with the pitch. Payoff pitch coming now to Cargo. Grounder to short. Tulowitzki's got it. He'll throw on to first. And Helton will dig it out of the dirt to end the inning. Well, John Gray manages to navigate, not as cleanly, but Team World ties it back up. They get a run on 2 hits. We head to the second, all tied up. Troy Tulowitzki will lead things off for Team USA. Tulowitzki, a product out of Long Beach State. And he'll watch a called strike one there from Herman Marquez. One of these days, Herman Marquez is going to win a Cy Young Award. He has that potential, whether it be with the Rockies, chopper to third, easy play for Castilla as Tulowitzki's retired. That's how the World will line up defensively. Cargo, Taveras, Walker, and then Castilla, Perez, Matsui, Galarraga with Torrealba behind the dish. It's Matt Holliday, the designated hitter. Or no, right field. He's playing right field in this game. Gets ready to hit. First pitch to Holliday. Misses outside with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. 26 years old in 2021, Herman Marquez earned an All-Star Game nod. Just the only All-Star the Rockies had in 2021, which is odd to say. Check swing, and first base umpire says Holliday did not go around. He runs the count to 2-1. And a called strike there, 2-2. But a special moment for Marquez, being able to pitch here at Coors Field in the All-Star Game. When he went out and tossed an inning, nice and clean, and a huge standing ovation. There were arguments that Herman Marquez should have started that All-Star Game to become just the second Rockies pitcher to start an All-Star Game, along with Ubaldo Jimenez. Instead, he was relegated to a little bit later in the game as Holliday grounds one over to short. Perez, easy play over to first. 2 away. But Marquez does such a good job overall. Has quickly become a fan favorite. The Rockies in his 6 years with the team already. He has a contract that runs through 2023. So potentially, we'll see what happens this year or next, as he remains a trade target by many a team that are in need of rotation starters. Marquez with a career .428 ERA, had a career low 375 in 2020, but in a full season, 377 in 2018. Led the league in the shortened 2020 season, made 13 starts through 81 2/3 innings. He's been a workhorse over the years. Blackman gets underneath this one, pops it up on the infield in front of home plate. Torrealba will come out and make the catch, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Kaiser. We're still tied up at 1, so we head to the bottom of the second. Justin Morneau will lead things off for Team World here in the bottom of the second. Morneau started games 1 and 2. Then Willeen Rosario stood in with the left-hander on the mound and Mike Hampton in game 3. But Morneau back in there, and he watches called strike 1. Gray finally gets ahead. Hopefully got some time to regather after a rough first inning, where he labored through 26 pitches as he struggled with his command. But he's quickly ahead here, 0-2. And he waves him with that fastball. Strike 3. That's a great bounce back for John Gray. 3 pitches results in a strikeout of Justin Morneau. We saw Johnny do that so often throughout his career. Spent 7 years in Colorado. Debuted back in 2015. Had a career low 3.67 ERA in 2017. His best years. He's kind of had his ups and downs. When John Gray was on, one of the best pitchers in baseball. As leadoff, or a 1-out single there by Neifi Perez. Just floats one into center field, just over the shortstop Tulowitzki. And that'll bring up Jorvik Torrealba. 1 out, runner at first. Slide step, pitch out. Perez stays put. John Gray, though, was able to rack up the strikeouts. 849 in Colorado. He's up there among the league leaders in career strikeouts. Evens the count there, 1-1. You can look at his ERA, but it's important to also look at John Gray's FIP, the fielding independent pitching. You look at his career FIP, and it's a 391, which is fantastic. Grounder to second, or to short, on to second, the throw on to first, in the dirt, and scooped out by Todd Helton, and that'll end the inning. Tulowitzki and Story team up, as Story gets wiped out on the throw, but John Gray gets the double play he needs. We head to the third, still tied at 1. Chris Iannetta will lead things off for Team USA here in the top of the third. And what's hopefully a pitcher's duel between German Marquez and John Gray. Marquez kicks and deals. And swinging at the first pitch is Iannetta, and he fouls it away. Pitch is in there, 0-2 on Iannetta. Fights off another fastball. See here if Marquez goes to that knuckle curve, which is a wipeout pitch for him, the put away. Here's the 0-2. Went back with the fastball, ran it inside. 1-2, good waste pitch there. 1-2. Fastball up high at the letters, and he caught him looking. German Marquez with his second punch out of the game. Just kept firing the heaters at Chris Iannetta. So 1 away for Eric Young at the top of the lineup. Strikeout in the first inning. And he starts him off with a fastball at the knees, 0-1. It's a defining factor for Marquez. He throws strikes. He'll pound the zone, which is exactly what you want. Slider outside, trying to entice him. Here's the 1-2 to Young. Bouncer up the middle, gets through into center field. And Eric Young manages to get the bat to the ball and bounce it back up the middle. Knuckle curve hung up over the middle of the plate. And Eric Young able to get on top of it and just muscle it through the middle. It's runner at first, 1 out for Trevor Story. Pitch out here with speed at first, and they'll watch him back to the base. German Marquez gets strikeouts about 23.7% of the time, as Young, with a huge lead, is able to slide back safely. He may look to take off on this pitch. Marquez comes set, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside at 99. 2-0. Young's going to be looking for just the right pitch to take off on. You go on a fastball, a quick pop time by Torrealba, and it's going to make things tough for Eric Young. Checks the runner again. Still not going, and drops a slider in there and catches the zone for strike one. Team USA manager not happy with that. Another throw on to first. He's back easily. 2-1. Another throw over. As Eric Young continues to dance over there. Marquez keeping an eye on him. We're tied at 1 here in the top of the third. Another throw over. As Marquez and Galarraga continue to play catch, the two Venezuelan players. Another 2-1. Runner takes off. Swinging is Tulowitzki, or Story, that is. Got my shortstops mixed up. Story fouls it away. 2-2 the count. Holds, and swinging through that fastball, Trevor Story. Third strikeout of the game for Marquez as he muscles another fastball right by him. Fastball up and away, and Story, eyes light up, and he couldn't quite catch up to it. So 2 outs, man at first for Nolan Arenado. Blasted a homer to dead center field. His first time up. Watches a fastball outside, 1-0. Marquez relying more on his fastball here in these early goings. Seems to be the pitch that's working the best for him. That one runs up and in, 2-0. Opting for the fireballer approach in the early goings of this one. 2-0 to Arenado. Got a piece of that one up in the zone, 2-1. Nice sequence there. At this point, maybe pull the string on this next pitch to Arenado. Try to catch him off balance. 2-1, runner takes off, and swinging is Arenado. Once again, another fastball from Marquez, and he fouls it away. 2-2 the count, runner at first. Young takes off, swinging is Arenado, and that's into the gap. Young hustling, he'll round third, and the throw's going to come into the cutoff man. No throw to home, and Eric Young will score all the way from first. The hit and run pays off as Nolan Arenado comes through. Fastball inside, tucks in that front arm. Gets the barrel of the bat through the zone and hits a liner into the gap in left center field. Taveras cut it off, so Arenado at first. 2 outs for Todd Helton. Team USA leading 2-1 here in Game 4, trying to push it to a Game 5 to decide the winner of this one. 0-1 the count now on Todd Helton. Grounder past a diving Galarraga into right field, a slow roller. So Arenado will just move up 90 feet. But Team USA stays alive here in the top of the third. They lead 2-1. Back-to-back singles here with 2 outs. As we'll have a visit to the mound for Marquez. Got to mix up the pitch sequencing here. As Team USA is sitting on that fastball as he starts off Bichette with another one. And at some point, you have to start relying more on the off-speed stuff. The slider, the knuckle curve, to mix things up for this offense. Pitch misses outside, 1-1. This Team USA is picking up on that fastball, and you'll see this for Marquez in real life. He'll sometimes rely on that fastball just a little too much. And opposing batters will often jump on that first pitch fastball. And that's what gets Marquez into trouble in his usage and in his outings. Here's the 2-1 to Bichette. Just misses outside, 3-1. Might have caught the zone as that was right on the black. Marquez didn't agree with that, needs that call. He wanted it. 3-1 the count to Bichette. Arenado's at second, Helton at first. The 3-1. Bichette lines one into left field, picking it up as cargo. Arenado does not run well, so he'll just move up 90 feet. And the bases are loaded as Bichette works the count, gets out on front, and hooks one into left field. Bases loaded, 2 outs now, and Marquez now in a big spot here with Tulowitzki. First pitch to Tulo. Got a piece of it, but fouled off the sinker. 0-1. 27 pitches this inning for Marquez. He's thrown a lot of strikes, a lot of fouls, but it's been a lot of fastballs. So here's the 0-1. Got a piece of that one and turns on it. 0-2. See there, 40 strikes for Marquez. He is in the zone quite a bit, but Team USA is managing to put together some better bats and with pitch recognition. The 0-2 to Tulowitzki misses low. And 1-2. A big spot here for Troy Tulowitzki. 0-1. Looking to blow this thing open for Team USA. Chased after that fastball, but he fouls it away. To stay alive here. Rough third inning for Herman Marquez. Grounder up the middle, diving, stop by Perez, flip over to second, and he got the out. So Team USA manages to load them, but they can't cash in with 2 outs. Spectacular play by Nefi Perez to end the inning. We head to the bottom of the third. Team USA leading it 2-1. Willie Taveras will lead things off here in the bottom of the third. John Gray, at 35 pitches. Sat in that dugout for a long while. Herman Marquez with a laborious top of the third. Escapes a bases-loaded jam with 2 outs. But giving up only 1 run. Definitely a strong feat, an important feat for Herman Marquez to keep Team World in this. 0-2 to Taveras misses outside. As John Gray has settled in nicely after a first inning that saw him throw almost 30 pitches. But now he's settled in nicely. Had a clean second inning. Taveras pops one up. Helton ranging back. Makes the catch for out number 1. Helton, the Tennessee product. A solid defender over there at first. Always reliable. I'll bring up Kaz Matsui. Matsui, 1-out triple back in the first and scored on an infield single from Galarraga. Watches a slider inside that backs him up. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 to Matsui. Fouled away. 1-1. Well, John Gray, he's best when he is pounding the zone. When he's under control, he's composed. Sometimes when it's getting into the traffic, at times that's when the wild card instance comes in. You're not sure if he can buckle down and keep a calm composure or if things are going to spiral out of control quickly. In 2021, he really proved at times that he was more so going to be the one that stayed calm and composed on the mound. And he was very successful, especially in that first half. But near the second half, whether through injuries and other circumstances, he kind of trailed off in the later half of the year. but still a solid 2021 campaign as he gets a called strike 3 at the letters, and Kaz Matsui's going to head back to the bench. Fastball right at the letters. Iannetta once again stealing away a strike at the top of the zone. And now there's 2 away here in the bottom of the third as Andres Galarraga now will stand in. Swings and a miss at the changeup below the knees. Infield single and an RBI for Andres Galarraga. But it's still confusing for the Rockies that they didn't trade or extend John Gray's. That pitch gets away from him and plunks Galarraga. So Team World will get a 2-out base runner here in the third with Larry Walker coming up to the plate. Walker drew a base on balls in the first inning, but they held on to him. He wanted to stay in Colorado, but some way, somehow, Colorado just let him slip through their fingers as they didn't extend a qualifying offer either. In the days leading up to the lockout, it was announced that the Texas Rangers had signed him to a 4-year deal. And so the Rockies, who were so confident they were going to be able to keep John Gray in purple, he ends up leaving for a team that also paid big bucks for Marcus Semien and Corey Seager. Behind 2-1 on Larry Walker. And that's probably one of the most frustrating things to happen in 2021, among other things. Called strike there, 2-2. As Colorado lost Nolan Arenado to a disastrous trade, they lose Trevor Story likely, and then John Gray they lose to another team. Comebacker up the middle, diving out of the way is Gray as Blackman will fire it into third. He had to get out of that one get out of the way of that one very quickly. Bounced over him as Larry Walker beats it into the ground, but is able to get on base with a 2-out single. So 2 on, 2 outs. Vinny Castilla at the plate, and Gray will start him off with a slider, and he gets ahead here 0-1. Pop out victim in the first inning for Castilla. But that's the one that hurts the most. They were confident they could re-sign him, but they didn't really start the negotiating process till after the season ended. And even then, they were at a number that was supposedly their final number of what should have been the first number they offered. And Gray ultimately ends up signing for just a little bit more than what the Rockies had initially offered. And he ends up leaving for another team that's making strides in the American League West. Big swing and a miss there on the changeup, 2-2. So an unfortunate happenings of what happened with John Gray. As Vinny Castilla hits all of this one, and see you later. Vinny Castilla says adios, pelota. A 3-run shot into left field, and just like that, Team World takes the lead 4-2. Hung a breaking ball, and Castilla was all over it. Left up in the zone. Castilla with a no-doubter. Oh, hit almost up on the concourse. 475 feet. 31.7 launch angle. That happens with 2 outs. Called strike the letters, 0-1. Rough third inning now for John Gray. The problem with both these starters is something they have trouble with in general is when it comes to 2 outs, sometimes they have trouble putting away a team. We saw with German Marquez, Rockies loaded him with 2 outs. Marquez was able to navigate and get out of the inning. But you see John Gray here quickly unraveling. Plunks Andres Galarraga, then a single to Walker, and then a 3-run shot to Vinny Castilla. 1-2 to Cargo, misses outside, 2-2. So John Gray needs to make a big pitch here, retire Carlos Gonzalez, and get Team USA back at the plate. 2-2 to Cargo. Bouncer to second. Story's got it. He'll flip on to first, and that'll end the inning. But Vinny Castilla just absolutely crushes one. No doubter to left field. He's given Team World the lead 4-2. As they're looking to clinch things here in the best-of-5 series in Game 4. Top of the fourth, Matt Holliday will lead things off for Team USA. Amon Marquez back in there. He's allowed 2 runs through 3 innings so far. Labored through the top of the third, but managed to get away with only allowing 1 run. Misses high, 1-1 to Holliday. As those innings parallel each other. Well, so far things have paralleled for Marquez and John Gray. Having very similar games, but Marquez finds himself on the plus end of this thing, leading 4-2. Marquez will always come through in a big spot. 1-2 to Holliday. Tried to entice him with the slider, but misses outside. Good spot location there with that slider. Tried to get Holliday to chase. They go right back with a fastball and froze him at 99. 4th strikeout of the game for Amon Marquez. And there's 1 away. Bring up Chuck Nasty. Chuck popped one up around home plate. His first time up. Looking for better results here. So we'll watch a sinker outside, 1-0. You see the shift here for Team World. Kaz Matsui being the short right fielder. Teams typically do this against Blackman, the left-hander, who shoots it the other way, and that one's going to go foul. Well, the shift is one thing that still is being talked about of baseball or MLB abolishing it, getting rid of it, making it so teams can't do the shifts that we're prone to see. Here's the 1-2. Bouncer to first. Galarraga will take it himself for out number 2. Rule that would say that there has to be 2 fielders on each side of second base. They tried it out in the Arizona Fall League in 2021. But that the infielders had to at least keep their feet on the dirt, at least on the edge of the dirt of the outfield, so they couldn't move until after the ball was put in motion. Here's the 1-0 to Iannetta, watches outside, 2-0. Marquez trying to spot that fastball, and he's been hooking a couple of them, throwing off to his glove side. 2-0 to Iannetta, misses low, 3-0. Good patient at bat here from Chris Iannetta. Here after a quick little ground out for Charlie Blackman. 3-0 to Iannetta, taking all the way, and the fastball's in there for a called strike. 3-1 to Iannetta, and he's going to shoot this one over to first, but grabbed there by Andres Galarraga to end the 4th for Team USA. 1-2-3 they go. We head to the bottom of the inning. Team World leading it 4-2. This is Game 4 of our best-of-5 series. Team World took Games 1 and 2, and then Team USA managing to win Game 3. Looking to keep things alive and force a Game 5. This is a must-win for Team USA. John Gray still out there on the mound, and he'll start Justin Morneau off with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He's ahead 0-1. Morneau was recently revealed as one of the player legends for MLB The Show 22, along with his partner in crime in Minnesota, Joe Mauer. Of course, Morneau winning the batting title here in Colorado in 2014. Got him, swing with a changeup, down and away. Fourth strikeout of the game for Jon Gray. Nice pitch sequencing there, attacking him with a fastball, and then runs it well outside out of the zone with a changeup. And Morneau, no chance of catching up to that one. One away for Neifi Perez. Single his first time up. Pitch misses outside. 1-0. One of my fond memories of Jon Gray, this was kind of a bizarre one. 1-0 misses low, 2-0. It was in 2018 during their race for the playoffs. The Arizona Diamondbacks came to town in September. It was a pivotal series. As Gray's behind 3-0. Gray labored through about 3 innings or so. He did add a double to try and help his cause. Called strike the letters. Perez thought it might have been ball 4, but he'll come back. But Gray labors. Rockies are losing after 3 innings. The bullpen then throws 6 innings of perfect baseball. They didn't allow a single runner, a single hit, nothing for 6 innings, just a parade of relievers. And then it was capped off by a rally in the bottom of the 9th, capped off by a DJ LeMahieu 2-run walk-off home run. As Gray pulls a string on another one and gets the strikeout of Neifi Perez out on his front foot, and that one, the changeup dropping in there easily. Another fantastic pitch there by Jon Gray with a nice bounce-back inning here. 2 outs, Torrealba at the plate. Fastball runs high, 1-0. Jon Gray at 72 pitches. Still come out for a 5th inning. But Jon Gray, with a lot of big-time games for the Rockies, had a 16 strikeout performance, I believe in 2016. In there for a called strike. Two-one to Torrealba. Fouls one away. As Torrealba swings and misses, and Jon Gray has struck out the side. Here in the 4th. Morneau with the changeup. Perez with the changeup. And Torrealba with the changeup. So Jon Gray, nice job there to bounce back in the 4th. We head to the 5th. World leading at 4-2. So Eric Young will lead things off. Here in the top of the 5th, Marquez still out there. First pitch swinging at the sinker. Fouls it away. Marquez, with 54 wins in his Rockies career. Currently 6th all-time. Jon Gray just behind him in 7th with 53. Jon Gray, 6th all-time in innings pitched for a Rockies starter. Or just for a Rocky in general. 829 in the 3rd innings. In there, 2-2. Marquez is 6th all-time in games started at 138. Just behind John Gray at number 5. Marquez is already has the 10th most complete games as Eric Young offers at that knuckle curve at the top of the zone. So a strikeout to start off inning number 5 for Marquez. And I'll bring up Trevor Story 0 for 2. Marquez has already thrown 2 shutouts in his career. Notably, last season came very close to having a no-hitter against the Pittsburgh Pirates at Coors Field. Ended up giving up a pinch hit base knock to Kai Tom. After cruising along. There's the 1-1 to Story. Bounces that one foul. Ended up becoming a Maddox anyway. And a 1-hit shutout. Still a very important outing for German Marquez as blows a fastball right by Trevor Story for out number 2. 6th strikeout of the game for German Marquez as the punch-outs continue to rack up for Marquez and John Gray. I'm bringing up Nolan Arenado with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Arenado 2 for 2. Home run and a single. Trying to get something kick-started here. Got a piece of that one and fouls it away. Here's the 1-1 to Arenado. Knuckle curve drops low below the knees, 2-1. Talking about strikeouts, John Gray and German Marquez currently are 2 and 3 on the all-time Rockies strikeout list. John Gray at 2nd at 849. Marquez in 3rd at 816. It's very likely, well, it's almost guaranteed he's going to move up into 2nd in 2022. He could even get even closer. He may even be able to overtake the number 1 spot at Jorge De La Rosa, who's at 985. German Marquez could become the first Rockies pitcher with 1,000 strikeouts, depending on what he does in 2022, sticks around and pitches in 2023, and if the Rockies can hold on to him beyond that, as Arenado stays alive, fouls off another one, full count. But he has that chance to become one of the strikeouts leader in Rockies history. So Arenado sends one out to center field, but Taveras only has to shuffle over a couple steps, makes the catch to win the inning. So Team World, once again, another 1-2-3 inning for German Marquez. We head to the bottom of the 5th, top of the order due up for the World. Willie Taveras will lead things off as John Gray still out there for Team USA. 4-2, Team World leads it. Off of a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning by Vinny Castilla to give them that lead. They were trailing 2-1. More or less has been a pitcher's duel as Taveras offers at the slider, trying to drop a bunt. 0-1. Split there for John Gray, 47 strikes to 30 balls. He struggled with his command early on, and then he's kind of gathered things in here as we've gone along. Kurt Leskanik, Scott Oberg warming up down in the bullpen. They're back up on the roster in this one after being gone for Game 3. 1-2 now on Willie Taveras. See if Gray goes back to the changeup or the slider. He does go to the changeup. Ooh, looked like it was at the bottom of the zone, but it's called a ball. Evens the count at 2. That was a beautiful pitch by John Gray. But Willie Taveras stays alive. 2-2 the count for the speedy center fielder. One runs up and away. Full count. Well, this is a situation Gray would like to avoid. Keep Willie Taveras off the bases with Kaz Matsui coming up. Matsui has been prone to get RBI base hits wherever Taveras is involved, but a snap grab over at third by Arenado retires Taveras. So crisis averted, as there's one out now for Kaz Matsui. 1 for 2, a triple and a run scored. Struck out looking his last time up. First pitch from Gray. Bouncer to second. Story backhands, throws on to first for out number 2. There hasn't been too much action for the fielders, but Story getting it done there. So 2 outs for Andres Galarraga. Last time he was plunked with 2 outs, and then came around to score on the Vinny Castilla home run. Gray's got to put him away here. Have another 1-2-3 inning. Starts him off with a changeup, swinging through it, 0-1. Galarraga waves through a 2-seamer, 0-2. This could be John Gray's last inning. Get through 5 innings. He's had 85 pitches. He and Marquez are along the same lines. So whatever happens in the top of the 6th, if Marquez comes back out, maybe an indicator of what happens in the bottom of the 6th, as he blows a fastball right by him, and Gray with a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the 6th. Team World still leading at 4-2. Both pitchers at the top of their game now. Looks like Team World's going to go to the bullpen. Turn to Juan Nicasio, who's back with the club. Sat out for a couple of games. Now he's back. He'll face Todd Helton, who's 2 for 2. Couple of singles to Todd's credit. Big inning now for Team USA. Opportunity, new pitcher on the mound. Hasn't been here for a little while. Hasn't pitched in a little while. And Helton starts it off with slicing one into left field for a base hit. So leadoff single, his 3rd hit of the game. Todd Helton trying to set the table for the offense now. Team USA trailing by 2. If you can get a run in this inning at least, goes a long way. Dante Bichette, he's 1 for 2. And he sends one into center, sinking. Taveras comes in, dives, can't make the catch. Helton will stop at second. He froze right in front of the bag. But the sinking line drive, Bichette hits the fastball. Taveras with the dive, and it bounces off the front of his glove. So 2 outs, nobody out. 2 on, no outs. Getting mixed up there with Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki's 0 for 2, pair of ground outs. He's had a good previous 3 games. Looking here in a big spot yet again. Nicasio kicks and deals. And this one sent deep into left field. This one's got a chance, and it's gone! Team USA takes back the lead with a 3-run shot by Troy Tulowitzki. 5-4. Team USA jumps back out in front. Pair of singles. And then Troy Tulowitzki blasts one into the gap in left center field. And that one kept carrying and eventually got out 435 feet. And that'll end it for Nicasio, as Team World will turn to Yuli Chassin. Chassin was roughed up in Game 3. Only got one out. I'm not even sure he did get an out. He just had a rough outing in Game 3. Now he comes in, nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Team USA has once again captured the lead, leading 5-4. They got a 3-run homer of their own, thanks to Troy Tulowitzki. So Herman Marquez off the books. Last 5 innings allows 2 runs on 6 hits. Racked up about 6 or 7 strikeouts. No walks. 2-0 to Holiday. Fouls it back 2-1. Well, that was a rough outing for Juan Nicasio. Todd Helton with a quick leadoff single on the first pitch. Then Dante Bichette with a good at-bat. Lines went into center field. A diving attempt by Willie Taveras. If he makes that catch, that changes the entire makeup of this inning. As Holiday sends one out to center field, Taveras will range back and make the catch for out number 1. I'll bring up Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon 0 for 2. Troy Tulowitzki coming up big in a spot. That's what Team USA desperately needed to stay alive here. Called strike on the outside, 0-1. Likely John Gray's night is done. So we'll get a pinch hitter. Tapper in front of the mound. Or in front of the plate. Torrealba will quickly gather it in and throw on to first. As Chassin now gets back-to-back outs. Got Blackmon to chase that 2-seamer well out of the zone. And just drops it in front of the home plate. So bring up Chris Iannetta. 0-1. 2 outs. As Iannetta's 0 for 2. Strikeout and a line out. I want to run it first as Galarraga grabbed it. Slider misses low, 1-1. Yuli Chassin turned himself into a quality reliever for the Rockies in 2021. After all of his years as a starter, among the top starters for Colorado in their history. And he gets Iannetta to chase one in the dirt, the slider, as Torrealba will pick it up and throw on to first on the outside to end the inning. But Troy Tulowitzki has turned this into a new ball game. A 3-run shot gives Team USA the lead. They now ahead 5-4. So we head to the bottom of the 6th. Pitching change for Team USA. Kurt Leskanic will come back in there after we'll get some action here. Team leading by 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. He'll face Walker Castilla and Carlos Gonzalez. Little to no lefties in that USA bullpen. They have Brian Fuentes out there. But with it being here in the 6th, Leskanic gets the call as a mid-reliever. 1-0 to Walker. Leskanic kicks and deals, and he fights that one off the other way. Leskanic again, the 1-1 to Walker. Runs high with the fastball, 2-1. Ottavino and Oberg warm up and stretch out there in the USA bullpen. If things quickly erode here for Leskanic, they'll have to turn to that bullpen. That misses high, 3-1. Not a bad idea with the left on right to pitch around Walker. But there's no respite in the on-deck circle. Walker lifts one up over to third, and Arenado's there to make the catch. Big spot there for Leskanic. Makes a big pitch to get the out. Retires the Hall of Famer. I'll bring up Vinny Castilla. Big 3-run home run in the third inning. Gave Team World the lead, 4-2. Until Troy Tulowitzki answers back with a 3-run shot in the top of the sixth. Leskanic gets ahead here, 0-1. Winds and deals. Fastball misses outside, 1-1. Well, each game has typically resulted in one team dominating the other. 1-2 the count now. You had Team World dominating pitching-wise with Ubaldo Jimenez and Pedro Estacio in games 1 and 2, combined with their offense, which just decimated Aaron Cook and Jason Jennings. But then things started to change a little bit in Game 3, where Team USA then gets the big offensive explosion by Nolan Arenado and company, and Mike Hampton with a strong outing. But then in this game, you've had a combination of two very good pitchers, German Marquez and John Gray, both of whom have been the dominant forces in this game. They gave up 6 runs combined. So it's been a fantastic outing, and it was nice to see that bit of a pitcher's duel. Both of them were at the top of their game, really mirroring each other, with the offenses having to work a little bit more. 1-2 to Cargo. Big swing and a miss. So Kurt Leskanic with a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the 7th. Team USA staying alive. They lead 5-4. As Carlos Estevez will take over on the mound for Team World. As this game will now be decided by the relievers. They've already been impacted by the relievers when Juan Nicasio came in the 6th for Team World and gave up a 3-run homer. So Eric Young will lead things off. Estevez misses outside, 1-0. Carlos Estevez primed to compete for that closer role at the moment heading into 2022. Barring if the Rockies are able to make a signing of some kind, if and when the lockout ends. As a closer may be something on the top of their list. They could try to trade for one or just let sleeping dogs lie and go with what they have in the bullpen. Young's behind 1-2. Because the only other competition he has is Daniel Bard. But Bard did end up struggling quite a bit in the later half of the 2021 season, as Young strikes out here. Estevez did settle into a bit of a groove near the end of the season, but still he's not the ideal candidate, or hasn't proven himself to be the ideal candidate for the 9th inning closer role. So that's still a big question mark of who closes out ball games for the Rockies. So they could look to the market. Even then, they've been racking up minor league signings, gathering in old veterans or guys who have had very limited experience at the big league level or spent time across the sea, across the ocean, over in whether it be Japan or Korea or Taiwan, in those international leagues. Manny Corpus and Franklin Morales warming up. 1-2 the count on Trevor Story. Estevez kicks and deals. Big swing and a miss. Blows the fastball right by Tulowitzki, or by Story, for out number 2. Fastball outside, and Story continues to have a rough day at the plate. And that'll bring up Nolan Arenado now. Arenado 2 for 3. Well, let's go back to this first inning. Absolutely blasts one from Herman Marquez over 500 feet to dead center. And that really set the tempo, or set the tone for this entire game. There's been a pair of 3-run homers. Here's the 1-0. Bouncer, foul. 1-1 the count. So Arenado fights off another one, 1-2. Well, should Team USA hold on, Game 5 would feature another pair of lefties. Kyle Freeland taking on Jeff Francis. For a deciding Game 5. Here's the 2-2 to Arenado. Gets a piece of that fastball and fouls it straight back again. Estevez holding on. Looking for another punch out here. The 2-2. Tried to get him to chase, but Arenado wisely lays off. That'll run the count full. Todd Helton waits on deck. He's 3 for 3. All of them singles. Payoff pitch to Arenado. Swing and a miss! Climbed the ladder with the fastball. And Estevez with a clean inning. We head to the bottom of the 7th. USA leading it 5-4. Kurt Leskanik will stay out there. He'll face Morneau, Perez, and Torrealba. Morneau with a rough afternoon. 0 for 2. Pair of strikeouts. First pitch to Morneau. Misses low. 1-0. I haven't seen many pinch hitters at all in this series. Morneau's now ahead 2-0. Leskanik. First sign of trouble, they may turn to the bullpen for Team USA. Morneau turns on one or rips it foul. Leskanik, who had such a strong 6th inning, decided to send him out for the 7th. 2-1 pitch. Fouls this one back, evens the count at 2-2. Another 2-2 from Leskanik. Trying to entice him and chase that fastball down and away, but Morneau learned from his mistakes, lays off. Payoff pitch. Rips another one foul, hung a curveball. Morneau could have easily tied this thing back up. Another payoff pitch coming from Leskanik. Popped him up, foul territory. Arenado's going to give it a look. Next to the tarp, makes the catch for out number 1. They go with the fastball up in the zone. Up and in. And Morneau, that's such a tough pitch to get to. Just gets a piece of it and pops it up. And Arenado makes the play. Perez watches a slider in for a called strike. Perez 1 for 2. Had a single all the way back in the 2nd. But Team World has been shut down since the third inning. Pitch misses, 1-1. John Gray goes 5 innings, allows 4 runs, but he's on the plus end of this thing now. Pitch misses high, 2-1. Team USA trying to stay alive, force a game 5. This one fouled straight back, 2-2. Some way, somehow, these things always end up going longer than you think they will. Jams him inside, and he muscles it into center field. Neifi Perez with a fantastic bit of hitting there. That pitch was almost in his back pocket. He manages to hit it into center field. So speed on the bases for Yorvik Torrealba. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch, slider, and therefore called strike. Torrealba for 2. Well, now with Neifi Perez at first base, definitely a threat to steal. Checks the runner, he holds. Curveball up and away, 1-1. Throwing to first, big lead there by Perez, but he's back easily. 1-1 the count. They go with a slide step here. They don't. Fastball misses, 2-1. Well, you could put Perez in motion and go with a bit of a hit and run. Torrealba can get the base hit. And that would give Perez an opportunity at least to go first to third or even score if it ends up in a gap. Sends this one out to left. Young retreats and makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 away now. As Neifi Perez gets stuck at first base now. But they're back to the top of the order with Willie Taveras. Taveras 0 for 3. Ground out back in the 5th. But Perez can throw out a base knock here. Another throw to first, but Perez back safely. But Taveras can throw out a base hit here. Again, get a guy first to third. And if he gets one into center field, Taveras might even be able to stretch it into a hustle double for himself. Curveball misses inside. 1-0. Another throw over to check on the runner. But once again, the runner's back safely. This is a tough part of the top of the lineup. 2-0 with the curveball. You got speed here with Willie Taveras. Speed at first. You have speed on deck in Kaz Matsui. And then power in the hole with Andres Galarraga. Scanic's behind 3-0 now. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Tying run at first. Go-ahead run here at the plate. Scanic comes set. Needs to get a strike here. Here comes the pitch. Fastball at the letters. Didn't like his release point on that one, however. He got away with one there. Scanic has been leaving some pitches up. That curveball has been hanging. And some of these fastballs are getting left up and in. 3-1 now to Taveras. Got a piece of that one. Full count. So Perez likely in motion with 2 outs. Payoff pitch coming to Taveras. Fastball ran up. Rising fastball, and he fouls it straight back. Same with Scanic losing that release point, releasing too early, and that those pitches are being left up. And there goes another one. So Taveras draws the 2-out walk. See though, Scanic 12 strikes, 11 balls. He is struggling with his command here. And they're going to go turn to Scott Oberg out of the bullpen to face Kaz Matsui. Tying run at second. Go-ahead run at first. And Matsui had a triple in the first inning. He's 1 for 3. But now this is a very dangerous spot. Matsui's been very good in the clutch here with runners in scoring position in this series. First pitch, Oberg gets ahead here, 0-1. Matsui just needs a base hit. Now likely scores Perez. Moves Taveras to third. And Oberg's ahead now 0-2. As Matsui now tries to dig in. Find a way to stay alive here. 0-2 to Kaz Matsui. Now change up outside, 1-2. Matsui has come in the clutch so often in these previous 3 games. As he shoots one into left. That's going to hook foul. If that drops fair on the line, you're looking at a 6-5 ball game. Here's the 1-2 again to Matsui. Got a piece of that one and fouls it off. Matsui's picking up what Oberg's putting down. Another 1-2 to Matsui. Throws him outside, but it's called the ball. Fantastic take there by Kaz Matsui. Tried to freeze him with a fastball in that outside corner. A good pitch. Fortunately, it's called the ball. 2-2 pitch. This one's blasted into right field. It is gone. Kaz Matsui showing off some power, and he has given Team World the lead here in the 7th. Matsui comes through to beat Scott Oberg. 7-5, Team World leads it. Change up left over the middle of the plate, and Matsui turns on it and deposits into right field. Andres Galarraga now will foul one off. A game changer once again. Scott Oberg. And Kurt Lascanic, as this one's lofted out to left field, back to the wall, and Andres Galarraga got all of it. Back-to-back jacks, and Team World tacks on another. Here in the 7th, they now lead by 3. 8-5. Oberg having a rough go of it. Again, another pitch left over the heart of the plate. And Galarraga sends it into the tunnel. So bring up Larry Walker. Still with 2 outs here in the 7th. Gets ahead of him here with the changeup, 0-1. Well, Kaz Matsui, in his career, he hit just 6 home runs in Colorado. Had 32 overall in his career. 7-year career. So the home runs were usually far and in between. But coming up clutch right there, absolutely drilled one to give them the lead in this pivotal Game 4. I can't talk today. So 1-2 the count on Larry Walker, the Hall of Famer. Once again, Another lead change in this one via the 3-run home run. Walker lost one out to center field. Blackmon's there. He'll make the catch, and that'll mercifully end the inning. But the damage has been done. Team World manages to blast a 3-run shot. They now lead 8-5 on a pair of back-to-back home runs, as Manny Corpus will take over on the mound here in the 8th to face Team USA, who's now in survival mode. We'll have Helton, Bichette, Tulowitzki. Helton 3 for 3. All of them singles. Perfect guy you want to start off the rally here. First pitch coming from Manny Corpus. Change up over the heart of the plate. Helton well in front of it. 0 for 1. Helton usually such a... That was pitch recognition, but he pops one up, foul territory, and Vinny Castilla makes the catch. And a big out number 1 here to start the 8th as Todd Helton is retired in remedial fashion. So 1 out with Dante Bichette. 2 for 3 on the night for Bichette. And he watches called strike 1 on the fastball. It's Team World now looking at a big spot here as Bichette sends one out to deep right field. Walker giving chase, makes the catch for out number 2. Bichette thought he might have gotten enough of it to carry out, but instead slices the other way and Walker chases it down. So Troy Tulowitzki will stand in. 3-run homer his last time up. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Trying to spark a rally here with 2 outs against Manny Corpus. First pitch from Corpus, in there for a called strike. 0-1. 3-run lead now for Team World. The biggest lead of the night for either team. There have been 3 3-run home runs that have changed the lead in this ball game. Tulowitzki now well ahead here, 3-1. Matt Holliday waits on deck. 3-1 to Tulo. Inside, ball 4. So Tulowitzki draws the 2-out walk to keep things alive here in the top of the 8th. To give Matt Holliday a chance here. Holliday 0 for 3. Fly out in the 6th. And Holliday looking to put a charge into one. Make this a 1-run ball game. Called strike of the knees, 0-1. Charlie Blackmon waiting on deck. And Holliday quickly behind 0-2 as Corpus drops a pair in for called strikes. The 0-2 to Holliday. Got him! Swinging strike 3. Well, Team World now just 3 outs away from winning the Rockies Baseball Classic.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now pitching for Colorado, number 40,
Brian Fuentes, the left-hander, the pizza slinger, the T-Rex, will take over here in the bottom of the 8th. Castilla, Cargo, Morneau due up. So with the pair of lefties, Fuentes gets the call here. Fuentes, the all-time saves leader for the Rockies. First pitch, swing and a miss. 0-1 on Vinny Castilla. Had a 3-run homer back in the 3rd. 9 runs of this game have come because of the 3-run homer. And 6 of Team World's 8 runs have come via the 3-run homer. 0-2 the count on Castilla, and he'll drop a changeup in there, swung through for out number 1. Brian Fuentes making Vinny Castilla look foolish there. Way out in front on that big hook for out number 1. So I'll bring Carlos Gonzalez. Carr goes 0 for 3. Here's the first pitch from Fuentes. In there for a called strike, 0-1. Well, Brian Fuentes spent 7 years in Colorado. From 2002 to 2008. Was a 3-time All-Star in Colorado. Had a 2.75 ERA in 2003. Typically, his highest ERA was a 5.64 in 2004. That was the only season where he had a ERA over 5 while in Colorado. But he makes Team USA because he was born in California. So he fits Team USA as he walks Carlos Gonzalez. So 1 out. Man at first for Justin Morneau. Morneau 0 for 3. With a pair of strikeouts in this one. Looking to tack on a couple more runs. Throw over to first. Gonzalez is back. Gonzalez, one to keep an eye on. Does have that speed, but with the lefty on the mound, may have to hold up a bit. Change up inside, misses. Could have been a strike. Looked like it might have caught that inside part of the plate. Instead, it's called a ball. 1-0 for Justin Morneau. Winds and deals. Fastball at the knees. 1-1. Well, Brian Fuentes also a winner of Guys Grocery Games on Food Network a couple of years ago. His team won on that cooking competition because they just had former MLB stars, MLB players with professional chefs on their team. So they were in duos, but he ended up winning. Beat a couple of former Giants. 2-2 the count on Justin Morneau. Brian Fuentes was the closer from 2005 to 2008. The throw down to second. Cargo swipes second easily, but the strikeout of Morneau on the swing. So 2 outs for Nefi Perez, who's 2 for 3. Couple of singles. It's Brian Fuentes now. Trying to get out without any damage. Runner at second, 2 outs. First pitch to the switch hitting Perez misses low in the dirt, 1-0. Kicks and deals. Bouncer to second. Story's got it. He'll throw on to Helton. And we head to the 9th. 3 outs are all that remains for Team USA to try and tie this thing up or take the lead. They need 3 runs. They're going to face Rafael Betancourt. Rafael Betancourt, the closer for Team World, is going to be tasked with closing the door here. 8-9-1 due up for Team USA, so not ideal, but still a chance. First pitch from Betancourt misses low on the forkball. 1-0 on Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon gets a piece of that one, fouls it away. Betancourt was with Colorado from 2009 to 2015. 6 years in Colorado. 58 saves in a Rockies uniform. Big swing and a miss. Primarily was the closer in 2012. Had 31 saves. But otherwise, he was always around with Houston Street. Rex Brothers had some time as a closer. Blackmon fouls off another one, 1-2. But still a high-quality reliever. In his 6 years, had a .353 ERA in 275 and 2/3 innings of work. 1-2 to Blackmon. Fights off another one to stay alive. But if you look at Betancourt's FIP, he had a .277 FIP. His WHIP, walks hits per innings pitched, was a 1.063. So he's roughly given up that many hits per number of innings pitched. 2-2. Blackmon sends this one out to right. Walker ranging back right in front of the warning track, makes the catch. 1 out away. Or 1 out. Bring up the catcher, Chris Iannetta. 0 for 3. Strikeout back in the 6th. Team USA got things started off with a Nolan Arenado home run. .12-6 curve and swinging through it is Iannetta, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider outside, evens the count, 1-1. But the back and forth between John Gray and German Marquez lasted through 5 innings. The big hit was Vinny Castilla's 3-run homer back in the 3rd. But then Troy Tulowitzki with a 3-run homer in the top of the 6th off of Juan Nicasio gave Team USA the lead. This one's bounced foul. And then the next big hit in the 8th, or rather in the 7th. 7th was Kaz Matsui with a 3-run homer. That's been the story of this game. 2-2 to Iannetta, swing and a miss! 1 out away from winning the Rockies Baseball Classic. Team World is on the brink. Just blows the fastball right by him. And Team USA now down to their final out here in Game 4. They need to put on a rally here with 2 outs. First pitch to Young, misses outside, ball 1. 8-5. Team World leads it. Eric Young 1 for 4. Single and a run scored. That came back in the 3rd. 1-0. Outside with the fork. 2-0. Eric Young trying to keep things alive here. Again, they really don't do pinch hitters here in these situations. 2-0. Got a piece of the curve. 2-1. Betancourt trying to close the door and seal the victory. Here's the 2-1. Lifted up on the infield. This should do it. Perez there makes the catch, and there you have it. The Rockies Baseball Classic champions, Team World Rockies. They finally outslugged Team USA here in Game 4 to take home the victory in this best-of-5 series. 8-5 the final score. Team USA out-hits them 9-8, but it was a home run parade with Team World coming out on top. And what a fantastic series this ended up being. But Team World wins it 3-1 on the series. Took them 4 games to clinch, but they do it. As right there, Kaz Matsui goes deep off of Scott Oberg. Phenomenal pitching, starting pitching. Started off as a duel, but ultimately Team World comes out on top with the bat. Kaz Matsui is your player of the game for Team World. Goes 2 for 4 with a home run and a triple. Carlos Estevez with the win. Just with 1 inning, struck out the side. Kurt Leskanik takes the loss. Goes 1 and pitches an inning and 2/3, allows 2 runs on 1 hit. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Scott Oberg allowing just the 1 other run that tacked on. But some of the notables for Team USA, Troy Tulowitzki had a 3-run homer. Nolan Arenado with a towering home run to center field in the first inning, goes 2 for 4. Drives in a pair. Todd Helton, 3 for 4 with all of them singles. Dante Bichette goes 2 for 4 with a run. Over on Team World's end, Kaz Matsui, 2 for 4, home run, triple, 3 RBI, 2 runs scored. Andres Galarraga goes 2 for 3 with a home run, 2 RBI and 2 runs scored. Vinny Castilla has a 3-run homer. Larry Walker went 1 for 3. But that'll do it here for the Rockies Baseball Classic. A fantastic series between these two teams, but ultimately Team USA just at times couldn't get their offense going. They powered through with kind of the core of their lineup that you can see there. The Tulowitzki, Arenado, Helton, Bichette. They really led the offensive charge, and they were lacking from a lot of other areas. Trevor Story didn't have a very great series. DJ LeMahieu struggled. And a lot of these other guys struggled as well in that bottom part of the lineup with Chris Iannetta, Charlie Blackmon. Not a lot of offensive output from that portion of the lineup. Whereas Team World, from top to bottom, everybody was contributing. Pitching-wise, things were strong. Decent outings, but I think Team World still had the edge. Ubaldo Jimenez and Pedro Eustacio, both with fantastic outings in the first 2 games. Herman Marquez here in Game 4, strong outing. Tosses 5 innings, allows just 2 runs. Team USA still struggled a little bit on that pitching end as well. Their starters labored. None of them got past the 5th inning. And ultimately the bullpens still struggled, and Team USA never even got a chance to see Houston Street come out of the bullpen. And Leskanik, Oberg really struggled coming out of that bullpen. And Team World, strong bullpen for the most part. So, a great outing. Who do you think should be the Rockies Baseball Classic Series MVP? Personally, for me, I might give it to Kaz Matsui. Just through all 3 games, he was a catalyst, drove in a lot of runs, always on base. He did a lot at the top of that lineup. But you can have that argument for Andres Galarraga as well, or Vinny Castilla. All of them, strong offensive performances. But that'll do it here for this one. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed this Purple Row Sim. Hopefully we can do some more. Hopefully we'll have real baseball here very soon at the time of this recording. But you can find this on purplerow.com. You can find me on Twitter at @sideline_crowd. If you'd like to learn more about other random Rockies, you can follow my other Twitter account at @everyrockiyever, We're always posting about every Rocky ever, all the randoms throughout the team history. And you can also find this and the other games here on the Sideline Crowd YouTube channel. You can find it hashtag Purple Row Sim. You can look back at the 2007 What If World Series, which was a fabulous sim. You can also look at this whole series, which is the Rockies Baseball Classic. That'll do it here for this one. Again, I'm Skylar Timmons. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Again, the final score, Team World wins this and the series 8-5 and take a 3-1 series victory. We'll see you next time.